Good day, students. Today we'll have physics. And the topic we're going to discuss here is units of measurement. Lesson objectives. At the end of this topic, the students should be able to identify units used in industries. Instructional materials used. Our basic physics for senior secondary schools by P.N. Odume. And the web page used here is www.cora.com. Now I want to look at units of measurement in industries. The 7 fundamental units of measurements are meter for length, kilogram for mass, second for time, amperes for electric current, Kelvin for thermodynamics, temperature, candela for luminous intensity, and mole for amount of substance. We've done this in the first topic we handled when we did fundamental quantities and what? Units. So these are the fundamental units, the basic units in physics. They are fundamental because they do not depend on any other units for their definitions. The right units such as joule, watts, Newton, and so on depends on the fundamental units for their definition. These units are used in scientific work. Apart from these units, there are other units of measurement which industries prefer to use. Such units include horsepower, acres, and barrel. The first one we have there is horsepower. The horsepower is an imperial unit of power used in industries. It is a unit measuring the power of an engine. The unit of measuring the power of was an engine. It is not usually encountered in laboratory measurements. So we have it that the unit of power will have watts, will still have horsepower. So we're looking at this horsepower today. Now 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts, which is approximately 750 watts. So I want to know this 746 now watts is the equivalent value of 1 horsepower in industries. The megawatt is a larger unit of power also used in industry. 1 megawatt is 1 million watts. This 10 raised to the power 6 watts. Now, to convert from watts to horsepower, we want to use examples to see how we can do the conversion. Convert 6,000 watts to horsepower. Now we have it that 750 watts is equal to 1 horsepower. Are you getting it? Now, if you're asked to find 6,000 watts in horsepower, what will it give you? We'll have 6,000 watts is equal to what? We're now using Y to represent it. So if you cross multiply, you have 6,000 watts times 1 horsepower is equal to 750 watts times Y. So we have 6,000 horsepower, because this watts here, we cancel out the watts here. We are now left with 6,000 times 1 horsepower. You have 6,000 horsepower is equal to 750 Y. So we're looking for the value of this Y now. So we have 6,000 horsepower divided by what? 750. And if you divide through, you're going to have 8 horsepower. Therefore, 6,000 watts equal to what? 8 horsepower. Now, I want to look at how we can convert from horsepower to watts. The first we converted was from watts to horsepower. But now I want to see how we can convert from horsepower to watts. Example, convert 100 horsepower to watts. So recall that 750 watts equal to 1 horsepower. Therefore, how many watts will give you 100 horsepower, which you are asked to convert? So if you cross multiply here, you have 1 horsepower times y is equal to 750 watts times 100 horsepower. So you have horsepower is here to cancel out. Now we have 1 times y will give you y equal to 750 watts times what? 100. That gives you 75 watts. Therefore, 100 horsepower equal to 75,000 watts. Is that okay? Okay. Now, I want to see how we can use examples to how we can apply this in some of the calculations or problems we have in physics. Example 1. A car uses 100 horsepower and moves at a uniform velocity of 120 meters per second. What is the forward force exerted by the engine on the car? So the power here is 100 horsepower. Converting from horsepower to watts, we have 750 watts equal to 1 horsepower. Therefore, how many watts will be in 100 horsepower? So if you cross multiply here also, you have 1 horsepower times x equal to 750 watts times 100 horsepower. So we'll have it that horsepower will cancel out horsepower here. Remaining 1 times x is x. So we now have 750 times 100 remaining. And this will give you in watts. Therefore, x now gives you 75,000 watts. So from here we'll have it that 100 horsepower is equal to 75,000 watts. So you're asking this question, a car uses 100 horsepower and moves at a uniform velocity of this. What is the forward force? You have to get the force exerted by the engine on the car. But V, the velocity given to you, is equal to 120 meters per second. What is the force? Recall that power is equal to work done over time. I think you can still remember that. Work done over time. And power is equal to force times distance, because work done is given by the formula force times distance over what? Now, time. But distance over time itself, distance over time here gives you what? Speed. Are you getting it? P now is equal to force times speed. Sorry, I have it that P is equal to force times distance over time. But distance over time here gives you what? Speed. Therefore, P now is the force, gives you force times what? Speed, which is distance over time, which is this one. Force times what? Speed. So P is equal to F times V. V represents speed here, while F represents force and P represents power. So if you substitute, if you now make F, substitute on the formula, F is equal to P over V. Are you getting it? So our power here is 75,000, which we have gotten before now. In the last page, we have gotten our power to be 75,000 watts. So our V in the question is 120 meters per second. So if we divide P by the v, which is the velocity, that gives you 625 Newton. Is that okay? Now we want to go to the next unit of measurement, that is acre. An acre is a standard unit of measurement used by land sellers. So those that sell land, they use this unit in measurements. I will have it that 1 acre is equal to 4,046 meters squared. 4,046 meters squared gives you 1 acre. If that is the case, 1 meter squared will now be 1 over 4,046 acres. And that gives you 0.000247 acre. Are you getting it? Now, to convert from meter squared now to acre, you multiply by 0.00247. That is the value you get from 1 divided by 4,046. Is that okay? Then we'll have the next as hectare. This is also a unit used by land sellers in measuring lands. 1 hectare of land is a land measuring 100 meters by 100 meters. So 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 meters squared. Is that okay? Now, conversion from hectare to meter squared. I mean, you want to convert now from hectare to meter squared. What do you do? Recall that 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 meters squared. And 100 hectare is equal to what? You want to see how we can convert from hectare to meter squared. Now, if you cross multiply here, we'll have 1 hectare times x is equal to 100 hectare times 10,000 meters squared. Are you following? Now we'll have hectare will cancel out hectare here. Remaining 1 times x is x. Now what is now remaining here is equal to 100 times 10,000. That gives you 1 million meters squared. So 100 hectares now will give you 1 million meters squared. Therefore, to convert from hectare to meter squared, multiply now by what? 10,000. Is that okay? The next is conversion from hectare to acre. I converted from hectare towards acre. Recall that 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 meters squared. Which means 10,000 meters squared means 10,000 times 1 meter squared. But 1 meter squared is 1 over 4,046 acres. Now 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 times 1 over 4,046 acres. And 1 hectare is equal to 2.471 acres. If you multiply this out, you're going to get this. So to convert from hectare to acre, multiply by what? 2.471. I want to see how we can use example to verify this. Example, convert 100 hectares to acre. Solution, 1 hectare equal to 2.471 acres. Therefore, 100 hectare will now give us 100 times 2.471 acre. And that gives you 247.1 acre. 247.1 acre. Is that okay? The next unit of measurement in industries is barrel. This is a unit of volume whose definition has not been universally standardized. For instance, 1 barrel is equal to 42 gallons in United States, while 1 barrel is equal to 35 gallons in United Kingdom. Considering 2 different countries, United States and United Kingdom, UK, as they have different measurements for barrel converted into liters. So we want to see their values as we convert now. Remember they say that this, we remember that here we said that barrel, the units barrel has not been universally standardized. So we want to see how we can convert their values into liters, considering two countries. Will have United States and then you have United Kingdom. Case 1 is that of United States. 42 gallons in United States equal to 1 barrel. So 1 gallon now on its own is 3.785 liters. So what will be the value of 42 gallons? Are you getting it in liters? So if you multiply there, you have X times 1 gallon equal to 42 gallons times 3.785 liters. So what will cancel out here, you have gallon will cancel out gallon. So have now remaining X times 1 will have X here. Now remaining 42 times 3.785 liters. And that gives you 158.97, approximately 159 liters. Therefore, 42 gallons equal to 159 liters, which is equal to what? 1 barrel. Now the case 2 is now in that of United Kingdom. We want to see what will be the value also. In United Kingdom, 1 barrel is equal to 35 gallons. So 1 gallon equal to 4.546 liters in United Kingdom. So what will now be the value of 35 gallons in liters? Because multiply, you have X times 1 gallon equal to 35 gallons times 4.546 liters. So what will cancel out here is gallon against this gallons here. You have X times 1 remaining X. 35 times 4.546 liters. And if you multiply through, you have 159.11 liters. So 35 gallons in United Kingdom equal to 159.11 liters, which is equal to what? 1 barrel in United Kingdom. So we have it here that in both cases, 1 barrel is approximately 159 liters. So various liquids measures containing from 117 to 151 liters, which is equivalent to 31 to 40 gallons, are commonly called barrel. Is that okay? Now I want to test our knowledge on what we've said so far. This takes us to the next point, evaluation. Name the units used in industries. Number 2, convert 117 liters to US gallon. Now I believe you must have finished answering the questions. Now let's turn to the next page for the solution so that you can mark. We have the following units. We have the horsepower, acre, hectare, and barrel. These are the units used in industries. Number 2, you are asked to convert 117 liters to US gallons. We have 159 liters gives you 159 liters equals to 42 gallons. Now 117 liters will give you what value in gallons? We want to find out. So I have 159 liters times X. Now I have 117 liters times 42 gallons. So what is common here is liters. You cancel liter against liter. So 159 times x, you have this, equal to 117 times 42 gallons. So we now have to get our x. You have 117 times 42, well, 159. The value now is in gallons, which now gives you 30.9, approximately 31 gallons. Therefore, 117 liters equal to 31 gallons in US what? Gallons. Is that what you have in your papers? You can mark for yourself. We have come to the end of this lesson today. Remain blessed. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.